Hello, good day, my people. Here is your one and only Okute Daily Talk, where we tell you unadulterated truth and the way it is. I welcome you to this very afternoon broadcast of today being the last day of this month of October in the year 2022. I will not take much of your time. My news and this broadcast will be very brief. So please, tighten your seatbelts as the tradition always be. Let us move straight into the news of this noon. The orders of court supersedes all other persons or government directives or policies. That is the lawyer telling the Zoological Republic of Nigeria on what they're supposed to do from the judgment of the appeal court. Court orders are meant to be obeyed by all persons and authorities, irrespective of whether they are in agreement with the order or not. No order of court is even made in vain. The orders of court supersede all other persons, government directives or policies. The orders of court are the interpretation of the laws of the land and policies and of government. It has been the decision of court that even if an order is made by a drunken judge, such order remains binding until set aside by the judge or a superior court. If Malame will understand this language, because it seems like the law school that Malame went is different from the ones other lawyers went, because I can't see the reason why somebody who have vowed to defend the unity of the country and to obey every laws, they are the custodian of law. Now they are the one that is spoiling the same law. The law they made, the law they set, they are the one that is breaking that same law. You can only find this in Nigeria. Go elsewhere. Go other countries like US, UK, Canada, even China here, Japan, Taiwan. When you are at the top and you do something that is not good, once court find you guilty, it's either the court send that person to death or life imprisonment. But in Nigeria, you found fugitives in government houses doing as they like, simply because the person on top is one of their own. So they have every right to do whatever they want at any given time without not giving any shit to anybody, which is very, very bad. I don't see how this country is moving forward if they choose to be doing as they like. The language they are using now is that I can do it and nothing will happen. After all, we hold the power. Forgetting that everything in this life have expiry date. It's only death don't have expiry date. Only death. All we have expire. Because once or better, that's the only thing that have expiry date. The power you have today, tomorrow you can become powerless. Ask those who used to go to herbalists or native doctors to perform a concussion or whatever. Ask them how their head looked like when the Baba are finally giving up the ghost. So you that is there claiming that nothing will happen to you simply because you have the backing of the president or other cabals, all these things have expiry date. And when it expires, you, Malame, and your so-called cabals, una go collect woto. Woto no be small. Just people who should wait and see. Touch not my anointing and do my prophet no harm. You will have touched the lion's tail. Just wait for the repercussion. Because I know the day the IPOB will revolt against you, the day the Easterners will revolt against the Fulani jihadists and their autocratic system of government ruling in Nigeria, it will not be easy. Mark my word. It is not a threat, but it's a promise. The hallmark of a democracy is the quality and the recognition of the separation of powers of three arms of government. Where orders of court are disregarded, it amounts to jettisoning the judiciary, which has been severely described as the last hope of a common man in other countries, not in Nigeria. Section 287 of the Nigerian Constitution guarantees that judgments, of course, are enforceable by all. The consequences of disobedience is to be held in contempt and liable to imprisonment. Orders of court may be in the nature of final judgment, injunction which may be interlocutory, interim, or perpetual. As it relates to detention of people, such must be with an order of court, otherwise it is illegal and unconstitutional. When a person in detention is ordered to be kept in prison, a mental home, or such other places as the court may deem fit to make, then it behoves on the relevant persons and authorities to carry out the order of detention. In the same vein, whenever the court may make an order to release a person, such person ought to be released immediately without further delay. Come to think of it, this is not the first time the Nigerian government, the DSS, and the Malami faulted the court. This is not the time they have disobeyed the court order. As the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been on for over a year and now, on many occasions, the courts have ordered the DSS to let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have free, that is, a freedom of worship, so that every other thing he needed inside the cell or wherever they kept him will be made available for him to be worshiping the God he served in any way he wanted. They refused. The court have ordered for his doctors to be attending to him directly, not for them to be going to quack pharmacies to buy a tablet or chalk and be given to him that makes his health to be deteriorated. They refused. The court even ordered for his lawyers to be visiting him at least once or twice a week. The DSS refused. Who is behind all this? Abubakar Malami. Who is behind Abubakar Malami? Muhammadu Buhari. So what are we saying? These people have already made the plans on what they were going to do or how they are going to handle this issue. But they were disappointed because the day the three judges on the appeal court passed that judgment, they'll be like, let the earth open and swallow all of them. That is why they kept on saying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and not acquitted. Who does that? In which court of law can discharge somebody without acquitting him or her? I ask you, Malami, and your so-called cabals. It seems like the education, it seems like your own law, you studied it in night school or adult class. Because I can't see the reason why somebody who's supposed to be the custodian of power, somebody who's supposed to be the respecter of power, is now the one that is turning the power upside down. The thing is the other way around. When ASU refused to go back to school, you people take ASU to court, and ASU was ordered to obey the last order of court to go back to all their various places. Not because the demand they are asking had been met, but simply because the court is involved and the court have ordered them to go back. They obeyed and go back. So now it is turn of the government to obey the same court they took ASU to. Now they refused and begin to make some unnecessary and scallywag statements. Who do us all these things? How do we get to this point? To the point whereby even one person can hold the whole country ransom and nobody refused, everybody just keep calm. Even all the whole Igbo allies in Biafra land, which I know if all of them should wake up now and said, release this boy now, or you will see the other side of us, the government will do it. all of them keep silent. Ato Esenugbo, Andoba, and Esenelogo. I mean, a lot of them you can mention, but a few. Obi Kubana them, where are they? Where are e-money them? Abi, have your people's power audio one? I mean, is it audio money? I'm just asking you. That's not what I said. So people, my listeners, so that you will not misunderstand me or misquote me. I'm asking, where are all these people? All these people, Joey Zaza and the rest of them. Capital Oil, where are they? Obi Jackson and the rest of them. These are people, I mean, the Biafrans as a whole, Easterners, they have names. But where are they? Every of them have turned their back to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is fighting a just cause, who is fighting for freedom to all the Biafrans, not only for himself or for his family. If there's anything to profit when Biafra come, everybody will enjoy it. But everybody have kept silent. No one can come out to speak because they are getting themselves involved in one dirty deal or the other that made the government to hold them ransom. You cannot go out there to speak. When a Kuremadu want to question Buhari or who is the Obasanjo during his tenure, that the money they borrowed, I think it was this administration, that the money they borrowed, they used Easterners' name also to borrow that money itself. It was demanding where is the infrastructure or the project that they want to use to do it in the Eastern region. And the money was revoked. When they started asking where is the money that is meant to build a very mighty Enugu International Airport, where is it? He couldn't answer. And that is the end of the case. So all these our rich men here and there that you are seeing, most of them have been used by all these Fulani politicians and keep every document intact. And you will come out and tell me that I'm Igbo boy, I'm Igbo man, I know what I'm doing. But these people plays very smart more than you do. And you'll be seeing them as Mumu. As you remember those days, we used to say, after we will just say on the outside, we will call them Aboki. And to us, we think that Aboki is a Mumu who don't know anything. Forgetting that Aboki, in outside the translation to Igbo language, Woyem, in English, it is my friend. Abokina, my friend. But we keep calling them Aboki, and that is the same mentality we say have to today. That they are Abokis, look at Abokia. Look at Abokia, and are the one that are playing smart more than you. They hold the government for how many years? You couldn't do anything. They are holding Nnamdi Kanu. This is the second time. Only Abaribe stand for him at the first time. So this second time now, everybody keep calm. Because all of them, before they went on to do this abduction in Kenya, they have made sure that all of them have been hold ransom in one dirty deal or the other. So when you make any plan or make any statement concerning the government, they will come for you. Look at the issue of Rosa Okorocha. Just ordinary 1% billion be 2 billion naira. Not that I'm supporting what he did though. So two people will not misquote me or misunderstand what I'm saying. But truth need to be told that we are not the same with these people. That is why we all have to be up and doing. We have to fight in tooth and nail to make sure that the Biafra restoration is what we get. We cannot keep on hoping that you are with these people. They will not. They are not. Whatever deal you deal with them, they are the one in power. They have the hard copy being saved. If it is a message, if it's a voice call, everything is being stored, waiting for you the day you make a comment, and they will use it against you. Yes, that is the issue of Okorocha. They are trying to hold what do they call it, APC convention, primaries. And he gathered all the Igbo, all the Easterners, I mean the governors in the East, how they want to strategize so that if they can be able to get the power to return to the Southeast or to come to the Southeast because they've never been there before. And what happened? After the meeting, in only 24 hours, they begin to knock at Rocha's house, almost like where they go to arrest a criminal who has stolen the whole Nigeria. That incident happened. After that, not 1 or 2 months later, the issue of Accountant General of the Federation of 174 billion naira bust out. How many videos do you see online where they harass him, or where they even handcuff him, or where he's even arraigned before the court and they tell him that you have to be remain in the custody until you will find out the actual fact of this money? Nobody got that. They let him go. They said he was on bail for court order. Okay, the other day they had arraigned him. He's still there, claiming not guilty, and he was allowed to go back home. Only for the EFCC, they ordered the EFCC to bring his passport. What is he doing with passport? If you need 1 million passport, you can get it overnight with such amount of money. If you decide to run away like a Dizani Madueke, the former petroleum minister, what is that? Imagine. And you are telling me that we are the same. We can never be the same. We can never be the same. Imagine this administration is about to go. Tell me any completed, that is one, just name only one of completed project, federal project in Igbo land. If you ask them now, they will say you second Niger bridge. Have second Niger bridge been completed? Can anyone send me a very completed picture from the beginning of the bridge until the end? That is what Fashola coming out. He came out the other day and said the bridge has been completed. This one now is just for campaign purposes. But earlier on, they have made statement that the completion of that bridge has been shifted to middle of 2024. And we are all jumping up. They are doing well. Sometimes I wonder how some people reason. People are still jumping up, even youths campaigning for APC. After what we have seen in the last 7 years and a half, going to 8 years, no any single thing they can count them or they can account for that they have done well. We all in the Southeast, who don't even care about their contract or whatever they are doing. The only thing we care is the independence of Biafra, and that is where we stand. Give us Biafra or nothing. 2023, Biafra is going home. That is where we stand. So they should stop all this, and if they like, they can build the Nigerians or anywhere they are. Just let it be another Japan or Singapore. But let us go back to that our poor land. That is what we want. And you say you cannot give it to us. Then give us prominent offices in the government. You say no. Almost all the offices, all the government offices in the government in the outside of there have been occupied by Fulanis, not Hausa. Because Hausa have nowhere to be found again. I weep for the poor. Orders of the court may be in the nature of final judgment. Injunction may be interlocutory, interim, or perpetual. As it relates to detention of people, such must be with an order of court. Otherwise, it is illegal and unconstitutional. When a person in detention is in order to be kept in prison, a mental home, or the rest of them, that is what they have to obey it without delay, with immediate effect. However, in written terms, this democratic character seems to have eluded this Nigeria government of Buhari as the disrespect for the rule of law and judgment of courts have become the order of the day. When the retired Nigerian military colonel Sambo Dasuki was arrested by the Buhari's administration, the court granted him bail severally but was not released by the State Security Service, SSS, until the court eventually discharged and acquitted him. The same fate before the lawyer Olisametu. He was denied freedom despite his health situation until he was discharged and acquitted. This is the same thing Martin Nnamdi Kanu is currently facing, except that in his case, the federal government seems to want him dead, slow and painful death, so that despite his health situation and despite having been discharged, by the Court of Appeal on the 13th day of October 2022. The federal government came up with a strange legal step called stay of execution, despite the fact that the Court of Appeal had in a case of similar nature refused the same prompting. See the article of Femi Falana's son, the law as of yesterday. Even under a military junta, the Court of Appeal held that the application to stay the liberty of a citizen could not be granted, as it was incompetent. The principle was established in the case of Nigerian Army v. Gloria Mowarin in 1992, 5 NWAL PT Part 235 P345, where Atu Cargo JCA as he was then held as follows. Now the position in this matter is that the applicants are flagrantly flouting an order of court by refusing to release the respondent. In other words, they are in contempt of an order of the court. The same contemners have come with very unclean hands, supplicating before this court for a grant of a favor that would, as it were, legalize their contempt. I will liken the applicants to a sinner who prays to God to assist him in the commissions of his sins, just as God will not listen to such a supplication. This court will not grant such a prayer. His lordship further stated that the refusal of the application will not cause any injury to the applicant, but if the application is granted, the respondent will continue to suffer personally in detention after the court have declared her detention unlawful ab initio. In his contribution to the leading judgment, Owolabi JCA had this to say: but the question which I must ask is whether, when a person has been discharged in a criminal proceedings, the prosecutor, having appealed, can bring an application for the execution of the judgment to be stayed. I am of the firm view that an application in such proceedings for a stay of execution will be incompetent. In the present case, where the trial judge has ordered the release of the respondent who has been held in prison custody, the present application for a stay of execution is absolutely rubbish, incompetent, and nonsense. The prayer of the applicants for a stay of execution pending the determination of the appeal is an invitation not only to reverse the decision of the learned trial judge, but it is also to maintain that the order of detention is lawful. So, why has the law suddenly changed in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case? Is it because it is a special case? This is one such situation where one begins to agree that there are two sets of laws for the people in Nigeria, one for the Igbos and one for the others. Otherwise, what was the reason for the second set of the Court of Appeal judges to state the respect for human rights of a person, but will not stay others? Well, orders of court remain the orders of court and must be obeyed. So until the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court set aside the order for stay, we can only lick our wounds of injustice. That is exactly the point. Exactly the point. In this scenario, in this case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the simple truth there is that there is some cases, there are some rulings that is meant for the Fulanis, and there's the one that is meant for Nigerians, because it seems like this is the only two tribes that is going on loggerheads. Other ones are just mere nothing. To me, that's the way I see it. I say it with no atom of regret. But how can you tell me that in this case, this kind of cases have been appeared in many different occasions in the same court, in the same country, and others were discharged and acquitted and they obeyed the court order? Then what stops Buhari and Malami to obey the court order to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? They say, I never hear this kind of language before. And the international community is still watching. They keep silent until the young man dies in detention. Then they will say that, okay, now we have sanctioned Nigeria. Will dead man wake up and speak? It will not. The earlier you people do something, the better, because what it will cause in future, it will not be a good one. Although I know you whites want Nigeria to scatter, but the one that you people are beating the drum don't understand the lyrics of the music. That is the problem. All these Mumu Fulanis don't know what these Europeans and the United Nations are trying to do in Nigeria. They want to scatter the country. They want that country to be no more, so that they will come and occupy the land because of the kind of mineral resources that Nigeria have, which they don't have. They don't have anything. They don't have it. Is it not just because of a common or ordinary conflict between these two countries in the other federation? Let me not call them so that people will not buy my account. He seized the gas. And all European countries now, they are crying. The gas that is at the backyard of my father's house, which the federal government is drawing without knowing what to do with it, or rather than stealing it and be using it for their frivolities. And the people that have that land, those land where all this gas and oil is coming from, when they opened the mouth to speak, you went out there, other soldiers to shoot them to death, to kill all of them. Very undeveloped area, very unkept area. No good water, no good road, no even good food. Their land cannot grow anything. Yet, the government keep on swindling them on their own land, in their own gift that God gave to them. All these states that have oil in Nigeria are supposed to be one of the best states. One of the best states in the world, not in Nigeria. But go there, you will find out that even you living outside that area, you cannot stay in that kind of area, in that kind of environment. Very dirty, very stinking. They can't even have light. That is the most important thing. Their roads is dilapidated. Their water, they are drinking gutter water, because all the whole water from the seas have been contaminated with oil spray. Yet, the government is not doing anything. Instead, they are using the money they made from there to build a railway from here to Maradi, Niger. Why the owners of that same oil have nothing to show for? What a world. How do we get all these blockheads leaders that knows nothing other than borrow and borrow and borrow? Imagine a country that can produce more than 2 million barrels of crude oil in a day. Now they have tap all the whole oil finish, all the whole crude oil finish. Nigeria barely produce 900 barrels of oil, whereby from the record they produce more than 2 million. Other 1.1 million barrels of crude oil have been stolen by the same government ruling us. The one they are selling with pen is not enough. Then they have to include illegality to it, just simply because they want to reach, even in life and in death. They want to be rich, but it doesn't happen that way. Once you answer the call of nature, that is the end. That's the end of Solomon Grundy. Nobody is going to reverse it back again. Just the case of they're supposed to use the case of Abacha. You see, not Abacha loot since how many years? Even since Obasanjo regime, they recover Abacha loot, and once recovered, they will also loot it out. Nigeria, I heard thee. Nigerian leaders, I heard thee. Imagine recovering a loot from outside. Once they recover it here, they will loot it outside again to go and store in their own bank account. Tomorrow they will die. They will loot it back. The ones we see, the one who don't know where they loot it to, that bank and the manager will use it, or the country itself will confiscate the money and use it for the development of their own country, because they have found a place whereby foolish leaders steal their own mineral resources, which they will use to develop their own country, to go and give it to outsiders. And whenever they get health issues, they will run there and they will also pay money. They will go there with their private jets and they will pay for parking space. They will pay for diesel or whatever they use to fly the jet. They will pay all the hosties that will follow them to that journey. What a stupid mentality, and what set of blockhead leaders do we have in Nigeria? I can go on and so on and so on. Remembering or talking about the issue of Nigeria makes me like I want to shed tears. When we are growing up, we are meant to understand that we are the leaders of tomorrow. I am still waiting for that tomorrow to come. Or maybe that tomorrow has been delayed. Very soon, I will also pass this information to my children, telling them that they are leaders of tomorrow. And that tomorrow, we are still waiting for it too. Since I was in the nursery school to my 45 years of old today, I'm still waiting for youth to come so that we can be leaders. Whereby the old fools refuse to give space for the new ones. Poor masses will raise money, will do all kinds of manner works just to send their children to school, to go to university and study the best they can and come out in a flying colors, only to end up as a keke driver. Some end up as a Dangote driver driving on the highway. When the day they will not take it enough, they will just kill themselves, and that will be the end of it. And the old fools are still on scene. Most of them don't even have good certificate. Most of them are school dropout. Not even, primary school dropout too. But their spokesperson and their special advisor are the ones with PhDs and BSc. What an unfortunate country we find ourselves into. So, how the mighty has fallen. Nigeria is at the brink of disaster. What remains now is just for Nigeria to close their eyes, and that is the end. We begin afresh. And that is what the Europeans, the whites, even our colonial masters, UK, that is what they have been praying for. Because if they really want the best or good for this country called Nigeria, they would have done something for how many years now? How can they revoke, or how can they revoke against them? Whereby almost all of them, if they are 1 million in the seats, all of them have houses, they are paying taxes in the UK. All of them have a bank account they store there and they are paying taxes in UK. Their health issues, all the whole doctors and nurses there are their private properties. They go there at will. If they have headache, they will fly to UK for medical treatment. So tell me, how are they going to revoke? Because when they revoke, all these things will start coming. If the Nigeria is good now, tell me how all this one will be flying to UK, to US, or to France, or to Dubai to take care of their health. That is why they have perpetually keep us in this dungeon, bringing 3 good nations, 3 good countries to be one. It is never done in anywhere. Until this day, they still keep mute. Even all the killings on daily basis. Tell me any day we wake up in Nigeria without the news of 100, 150, or 200 people bone slaughtered in cold blood. Innocent people. Yet, they did not say anything. My dear people, I know it pains you the way it pains me as well. Who do we offend? I keep asking this question. Anyone who have offended, if the blood of the innocent that have been shed in this Nigeria, you people should please forgive us and let this country be liberated. I'm signing out, my dear people. Please remember to like my content, share it, and comment. Let me hear what you think about all my broadcasts. so that the end will be a better one for you people. I is signing out. Until I come your way again.